Good afternoon and welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mera. Here we are on day 163 and I'm continuing the story of the second calendar from 1001 Arabian Nights. Now you might remember that the princess, the Queen of Beauty, the daughter of the Sultan, had agreed to disenchant the prince and bring him back to his natural form. And she, in the process, was going to have to confront the genie, which she did. And you might remember that the genie had appeared within this circle that she had inscribed in the bare ground of the court. And she'd written those Arabic symbols and words within the circle, done some chanting over it, and remember it was made with a knife, the blade of which had symbols on it and writing and the bone handle as well. Now, she had learned all this from the woman who the Sultan had entrusted to raise her, to bring her up, her nanny, so to speak. And her nanny had imparted a great amount of knowledge and wisdom that the Sultan had had no idea of. Well, this immense lion appears out of the hole in the ground and opens its mouth in order to consume the princess, swallow her, but not before they had spoken words to each other. When the lion first appeared, the princess called out, "You wretch! How dare you come and present yourself in this form to me?" Because obviously it was a form that, well, it was about violence. It was about being an enemy, not coming in order to resolve anything, but bringing into the moment a violent form, large teeth, large claws, as a lion is. It's intimidating. Imagine if a violent, angry lion approached you, how you would feel. "You wretch, how dare you present yourself to me in this form? Who is it that's calling one a wretch? You who have broken the covenant that we made with each other, not to interfere in each other's affairs. You are the one who first broke the covenant," the princess replied to the lion. And with this, the lion leapt toward the princess in order to swallow her up. But she must have been expecting such a thing to happen, for as the lion approached, she grabbed from the lion's mane a hair. And after chanting some words over it, it transformed into a sword with which she clove that lion's body in two pieces. All that was left was the head, and the head fell to the ground and turned into a scorpion. The princess turned herself into a serpent and began to battle with the scorpion. Back and forth they went. The scorpion, realizing that it did not have the upper hand, transformed itself into an eagle and took flight. The princess, she gave up the form of the serpent and leapt into the air, a more powerful and larger eagle than the genie, and off she went in pursuit. The two eagles disappeared from the sight of the men that were there seated watching. In the eyes of the calendar, or the words of the calendar, he said that they were all left in great anxiety and worry as to what was going to happen next, for the birds had disappeared from sight altogether. Suddenly, from the middle of that circle, the earth again opened up, and out of it sprang a black and white cat. Its hair was standing on end, its back was arched, as cats do, trying to make itself look bigger, and it was meowing the most plaintive meows. When out of the hole, after the cat, sprang a wolf, and with one leap, it was on the cat. But just as its claws would have reached the back of the cat disappeared, and on the ground there was a worm crawling very quickly away in the direction of a pomegranate that had fallen off a tree that was in that lower courtyard. Well, the worm entered the pomegranate. The pomegranate began to swell. The wolf was standing over this pomegranate watching. And as the pomegranate swelled larger and larger, it swelled to the size of a pumpkin, and then it was as if it bounced itself off of the ground. It went up to the air, into the air, and as it came back down to the earth, it shattered into pieces that spread all over the ground. Pomegranate seeds everywhere. The wolf transformed into a cock, and a rooster began to peck at all the seeds, one after another, that were strewn over the ground. As it did so, it devoured every one that was in sight, and it turned its vision toward the men, leapt into the air, and began to fly toward them. The calendar recalls that it was as if the rooster was asking, "Are there any more? Do you see any more? If there are, tell me so I can gobble them up." As the rooster was flying toward them, it spied right on the edge of this canal that flowed through that courtyard a pomegranate seed, and it veered in the direction of that seed. Just as the seed rolled into the canal, the seed transformed itself into a pike. The rooster transformed itself into a larger pike and sprang into the water, chasing after the smaller one. Back and forth they went in this canal, chasing each other, the one after the other. The water was churned up. This went on for quite some time, the two chasing after each other, until finally the smaller leapt out of the water and suddenly was standing there in the form of the genie. The larger pike sprang out on the other side of the canal in the form of the princess. And what happened next astonished the men. Scheherazade, of course, stopped the story there, as we will as well. And we'll hear what happens next soon. Okay, thanks for joining. Have a good rest of your day.